Hey guys, welcome back to Performance on Wheels. Today we're checking out a simple mod for the Bronco, specifically the Wild Track, the Badlands, the First Edition, and the Everglades. Why it's specific to those is these are some grill lights. These are some grill lights from Amazon, from the 7 Sparta store. You can have them for right about $60 or so. And you have the option to install either 5 of them or 3 of them with your grill spacing up front. And they show up in a cute little box like this. And heck, right off the bat, I have to say I'm pretty darn impressed with these. You know, they're ultimately made in China, but they have some pretty solid connections. The lights look decent. They come with some simple install, and it really doesn't look that hard. So today we're just going to install them quick and see what we think of them.
Right before we get into installing these lights on the Bronco, if you guys are new here to Performance on Wheels, we are a father-son team that make all types of different car content. So whether you guys are looking for car reviews, car modifications, or just anything really. For example, we just got done rebuilding this C5 Corvette Z06 from being one of the nastiest Corvettes in the world to that beautiful carbon wide body I just drove 3,000 miles across the country, to all sorts of videos on the new Ford Maverick, to the fact that we just tuned this Audi A8L. So we have all sorts of cool videos coming up and cool videos that we've made in the past here on Performance on Wheels. So hit like, hit subscribe, and let's get into installing these Bronco lights.
This does look like a pretty basic install, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a timer and see how real world time this takes us to do this install, and we'll share that at the end of the video. Obviously, we're not going to make you guys watch the whole install because that will be painful, but here's some things to note. So we have some little clips on these. You have to have this style grill for these lights to work because they clip right in there. So we'll check out the fit and finish. Our first objective is to get this plastic piece on clip so we can access that grill from behind. So we're going to get things going here.
As we continue to install these lights, I would like to say that this company did send us these lights, but they are not paying us for this video. This is completely unbiased. This is a review on these lights. We are going to be honest about them. We are not getting paid at all for this video.
Window here that you can stick just even a flathead screwdriver in and work it back and forth. You can obviously twist this so it's pointing in the right direction and just kind of wiggle it back and forth, and then that pops right out, and then your base just pops right out as well. Now what I can tell you is these recessed ones can be a booger with a flathead screwdriver, so if you actually have a little pry bar, it's a little bit easier to get in there. All in all, to get all these out across this front little caul plastic deal here, we're talking less than 5 minutes. It's pretty easy. Take your time, just wiggle back and forth, no extreme prying, they come right out. Alright, get you up to speed here. So we have these T25s. There are, they're right back here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 I missed, so 5, 6. There's 6 of them back here. You take those out, and then everything else is very easily clipped in. So even down here on the bottom, it's very little effort that I'm putting in, so that comes off pretty darn easy. We're gonna throw an extra step in just in case you're curious about how to remove the grill fully, and this is, I don't know if it's specific to a 360 camera. Up front, obviously we have that 360 camera, and these are associated with higher trims, so I would think that most, if not all, of the higher trims have that 360 package. I don't think that's accurate now that I'm saying that. Anyways, 10 mil on these fun little guys right here that are right on the top of the grill, and this is what's holding the grill, or this plastic kind of carrier piece. to the top of the radiator core support. So you remove those across the top, and now you can fully pull the grill away. However, you still have the plastic frame that is also the plastic frame that's holding on to the 360 camera. So if you were to remove then the two, it looks like Allen, maybe torque bits, those two, this whole plastic piece would then separate from the grill. Because I don't think we need to take it that far, I think we're just going to kind of pull this away and get those lights installed and move on with life. So here we go.
All right, so what we're doing here is we're taking all of these wires, running them above the top of the grill, and then kind of folding them over the top. The instructions actually say to run it behind and down this plastic shroud that's holding in this 360 camera. But if you do that and you look through the grill holes, you're going to see all the wiring. So we're doing it from the top. You are going to see a very small wire bump once we get this plastic shroud on, but it's going to look a lot better than seeing them through the outside of the vehicle. We did end up removing the grill like I did just mention. To do that, just the easiest way, take off this connector, take off the washer fluid, and then just kind of fold it up so it doesn't leak. And then you just put it right back on. Super easy to do, it's not hard at all. Then here's what I was talking about with what I did with those wirings. We ran them up and then down. Ran them all down here, threw some zip ties in to make it look as flush as possible. Ran them all right along the bottom there. As you can see, then all of those are going to be covered up by that plastic shroud. Then I took that wire, ran it tightly down under the headlight here. Has to go slightly above this because there's a little connector. The back of the headlight you wouldn't be able to fit the wire through. Then I ran it through this little frame shroud right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's a hole. Just kind of fish it straight through there, straight and back behind this part of the I'm starting to get it to focus. You guys can see there's this little part of the frame here. Put it back around and straight to in there. Per the instructions, all we have to do is remove this yellow 20 amp right here. So they do provide a little fuse puller, as you can see here. And then they have this handy dandy little tool here. So what we do is we're gonna put this in place of that 20 amp. We'll plug the 20 amp actually into this, and then we plug the lights into the end of this little guy right here. So it just basically adds a secondary fuse to that 20 amp. So let's just go ahead and pop that in there quick.
The better way to install this, which wasn't the first edition of the instructions that the manufacturer of these lights came out with, is to actually put the power wire where the rear view camera goes. So that's the 10 amp. That's back towards the back of the fuse box here, goes right in, and this way the lights only come on when the accessory is physically turned on, and they won't come on any other time. So works a lot better. So let's go over our impressions here. When I first went to go snap them in, it does take quite a bit of force to snap them in. And I'm not a huge fan on the fact that we have the awesome looking gloss black grille and then the kind of cheap plastic that's sealing the lights in.
Yeah.
Obviously when the lights are on you don't see any of that and they are very bright, which leads me to the next thing, when the lights are on. So the instructions actually tell you to plug it into the, I think you said the coil pack fuse, the 20 amp fuse, which those aren't in sync with the daytime running lights or anything to do with the lighting. The coil packs must have power for about 30 seconds after you even lock the doors and whatnot. They do shut off, but they're not timed very well.
No,
so
they're not.
Either we have to find a better fuse to hook them up with, which we did play around with a couple, but it didn't seem like they were turning off at all. So that's kind of an issue. The one thought that I had from the beginning was maybe wire these up to one of the upfitter switches, which that's kind of stupid. You can either always have that switch on, as long as it's accessory related or whatever, but
It'll be fine on the coil pack one, it's just they're not in sync with the lights.
yeah, and I don't like the idea of having something on the coil pack circuit. It just, I don't know, in my head that doesn't seem to make sense, but maybe it's perfectly fine.
And then the other thing that I don't really like is they stick out really far.
Yeah.
Like quarter inch, maybe even a little bit more up in front of the grill. So it'd be really nice if they were well in flush or inset in the grill.
Right.
But they stick out really far and it looks kind of silly to just have this big cheap plastic thing sticking out of the front.
Yeah, I was hoping they were mounting from the back side, not the front side.
Yeah.
Like that's what my hope was. And like the light would just be flush with the front of the grill type of deal versus exactly what you just said.
Yeah, so it looks a little bit weird with that, but
But let's see how they
Hey,
look
they're-
when they're turned on, right?
Yeah, I
Jump
mean,
down the road.
and hey, they're only, what, 60 bucks?
60 bucks. And as far as how long it took us to install, it was like an hour and 10 minutes. Obviously, we started to route it the way that the instructions suggested, and like Austin said earlier, we threw that out the window and put it up top.
Here they are on, and of course we got, I'm gonna open the hood here quick. As you can see, you can't really see it that, I mean, you can kind of see a wire there, you can kind of see the wire there. You can, I mean, it's not bad. It doesn't look bad at all. All the wiring form is under this cowl, so you can't really see it until you get right over here. You can just kind of see it pop up a little bit. Then of course you got the red wire that leads into the remainder that's kind of tucked right back in there. So it's not super noticeable. It doesn't look bad by any means. The only thing that looks tacky is, like I brought up earlier, like they're offset, which just kind of looks a bit cheap, but other than that, I think they look pretty cool when they're on.
It looks way better than having the cord like come down in the middle.
Yeah,
of the
you would totally see that during the day.
Yeah, that's
They are on, fully installed,
Yeah.
and they look pretty good when they're running, I think.
yeah, they're okay. I mean, I don't know if we'll keep them or not, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of the look at me aspect of things.
They definitely do it. They're not like as subtle as the Raptors. Like the Raptors,
Yeah,
like
they're almost too bright.
Yeah, like the Ford Raptors just look really, really good. But I mean, you can see the full ground illuminated
Right.
in front of it. They are really, really bright.
Yep.
I like on the Raptor, there's a little bit more subtle. You know, you just kind of know
Yeah.
what kind of truck's behind you.
And you can do where you only install 3 versus all 5 of them. And maybe that's a better play. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So
We'll rock them for a little bit.
rock them for a little bit, maybe take them off, and
Maybe
yeah.
we'll give them to one of you guys.
Yeah, maybe we'll give them away to one of you guys. So why don't you guys comment down below on what your thoughts are on these lights. Hopefully this video helped you out if you're interested in purchasing or installing them. The link to those lights is in the description below. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.